It's the Flow Friday Sports Show, and joining me on the line now to unpack the latest action from the Mallee Netball competition is Nicole McMahon. Nicole, good to get you back on. How's life?
Hello, Ellis. Yeah, good to be here. Had better weeks. We've joined the millions of others having COVID and being in isolation this week. So I'll be glad for it to be over, and looking forward to some exciting games of netball tomorrow.
Well, speaking of the netball, unfortunately, your mob didn't do you any favours this week with regards to anything else going your way this week. Lamaroo, we'll start there. So we spoke about this last week. Could Lamaroo do anything to ensure that Peak's sort of 1 week honeymoon wouldn't last another week? But not to be, the home side dispatching your girls 54-34, Nicole.
Yeah, a big win there to Peak. Coming off their win against Karuna, top-ranked Karuna, and then have beaten Lamaroo quite convincingly. Lamaroo and Peak, they were even on wins on the ladder, and we thought it was anyone's game. But Peak have had a lot of ins and outs all year, and only the last few weeks have they really settled into having their full seven. They've enjoyed having their full seven, that's for sure. And just showing what they can do. Fantastic win there for Peak. I think they were leading all the way. I had been in isolation. I was getting, texted the score updates. It wasn't an exciting game for Lamaroo. Peak just, strung all down the court. Robin Lehman having a good game for them. Bianca Waite in goals as well. When she's on fire, she's a hard one to beat. So, Peak showing they're definite grand final contenders. A few weeks ago, I was thinking, they might get kicked out of that top four, but now they could be knocking on the door of the top two.
Yeah, well, they've knocked your team off of third place, Nicole, so this is probably a little bit of an alarming result. I mean, do we have a gauge on exactly why it went the way it went? Did Lamaroo not start overly well?
Yeah, not exactly sure. Lamaroo, I think they had a really good game the week before against Pinaroo. They have, of course, lost Cassie Sparks out of defence. But I think just one of those days they just couldn't quite get that rhythm, get that flow on. Peak playing at their home ground. I think just started off well, got on the good front foot, and just went for it. Peak do have a very good seven, as I've said. Lamaroo, I know it's the end of the season, but they still are a fairly fresh side and having a lot of ins and outs. With Cassie going out after only her rejoining at about the second round, wasn't great for the team just to be able to settle. Still have not discounted Lamaroo. They've still got a great side, and I think they can come back and lick their wounds and go all right this week. But Peak really are, I think, proving they might be the ones to beat.
We shall wait and see. I'll tell you what, BDT would have almost got you out of your chair, though, because Karuna staved off very narrowly what would have been a massive upset. BDT 37, Karuna 40. Geez, Karuna looked like they were going to drop the ball for a minute there, Nicole.
I know. Karuna have had a lot of close games the last round. That's top-ranked Karuna. They have only lost one game, which, of course, was to Peak the week before. But this is just typical of this season. Like, you really don't know what to expect. You'd usually have a top-ranked side, Karuna, playing a fifth-ranked side, BDT, and think, Karuna will do this, no worries. But it's just not the year for that. It is really hard year to pick. I think it's going to go up to the final week to see who will be these top four teams. But Karuna, they had to fight really hard all day. Borders, they did welcome back Jackie and Tara Vanderleer, who are, some of the greats of the game. They have won quite a few premierships between them. I don't think the coach has convinced them to play into the finals. That was just a one-off, unfortunately. But they definitely helped their side and strengthened their side. I think one played goal shooter and the other goalkeeper, so they would have really made a difference. And I know it was even at fourth quarter at some point, but Karuna just etching through to get that 3-goal victory.
Well, almost 2 upsets out of 3 games. The third game, certainly not an upset. But again, lowly placed Murrayville. They are, in fact, at the foot of the table. Not really disgracing themselves at all. 34-69, Pinaroo in the end, too strong. But Murrayville in the game to an extent, Nicole. And Pinaroo, though, the winning ways continue for them?
Yeah, they did. Very good win there from the Pinaroo girls. I don't think the coach was super excited with their game, even though I think a 35-goal victory is pretty exciting. But Murrayville's still going all right at scoring those 34 goals. They do have a lot of young players. I think we'll see a lot of those players back next year. But yeah, Pinaroo, great game from them, winning. Who are a second spot, winning very well against bottom-ranked Murrayville.
We'll take a look at what it all means for the current standings. Nicole, Karuna first placed with 24 points. Looks like they are not going to drop the ball there at all. And then where it really gets interesting is from second down to fifth. You've got Pinaroo on 16 points, Peak on 14 points in third. Your mob, Lamaroo, in fourth on 12 points, and then BDT with 10 points in fifth. Are you looking nervously over your shoulder in these last few weeks, Nicole, or do you reckon the girls are at least at Lamaroo?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I know even, you look first, because our finals, we have first semi on one weekend, second semi the weekend after, and usually, when you're playing and you might plan something for that weekend off, but I don't think anyone knows what's happening. And you might even say, right, Lamaroo will probably win this week, or the week after, now they're up against Murrayville, they should have a good win. But it's not easy to pick this year at all, and it is going to come down to the final wire. As I said, I could see Peak still climbing into that top two. I can see Borders still climbing into that top four. Nothing is certain yet. Probably the only two things that won't change is Karuna will definitely stay top on 24, and Murrayville probably can't move from that. No, they definitely can't, move from that bottom spot.
There we have it. We'll just take a look at the team of the week, Nicole. This is something that we've been doing with you all season long. So lay it out for us. Who made the team of the week this week in the Mallee Netball competition?
So in goals, we had Renee Rudiger from Karuna, who's made an appearance a few weeks now, Bianca Waite from Peak, and Sophie Sharrod from Pinaroo. In the centre court, we had Natasha Venning from Pinaroo, Robin Lehman from Peak, Holly Hughes from BDT, and Cassidy Colthard from BDT. In defence, Shaylin Peak from Karuna, Maddie Farley from Peak, Steph Heineke from Pinaroo, and substitute Emily Tonkin from Lamaroo and Chelsea Bridge from Murrayville.
There we have it. Let's take a look at the upcoming games this weekend. We'll start again with your Lamaroo. Now, I would have ordinarily said that this would be a relatively foregone conclusion, but after last week, I'm not sure about that. BDT travelling up to Lamaroo to play your girls, Nicole. How will it go?
Good question. This is probably the fourth division decider as well. But in saying that, it's not all is lost if Lamaroo lose or if BDT lose. It's going to come down to that last game, definitely. Both teams, Lamaroo look like they have got the same lineup as last week. BDT, though, haven't been able to convince Jackie and Tara Vanderleer to play again, but they are welcoming Taylor Francis back and Erin Tonkin, possibly Lucy Dow, just depending on an injury and how she goes at training. Lamaroo, coming off that disappointing loss to Peak. Whereas the week before they had a great game and bet second spot Pinaroo. So it's just a really hard one to call. Lamaroo just have to go out there and attack though, and that's what they did so well against Pinaroo with Katrina and Abby and Shauna and Alana in their attacking. When they gel, they can go really well. They're up against some great players at Borders though. Emily Richo, if she's on fire and feeding those goalies really well, she will be a hard one to stop. The last two times these teams have met, Lamaroo won the first round by 38 goals, but then Borders won the next one by a goal. So, as I've said, that's not surprising for a year like this year. Just anything can happen. So Borders, they did come off that great game up against Karuna. So I will back my Lamaroo girls though. They have got the home game advantage, but I think it will be a nail biter and within 5 goals.
There we have it. Another mouth-watering clash, this one, Peak v Pinaroo. Hard to call, Nicole?
Very hard one to call. So this is the second and third ranked sides at the moment. Pinaroo had that loss to Lamaroo. They had a good win against Murrayville, but as I said, they didn't have a fantastic 4 quarters. I am questioning their consistency. I think they really need to start playing some good netball, especially as we're coming into finals. Pinaroo, though, very defensively strong, and not to say their attack's weak either. But same with Peak, they've got a very good defence lineup, complemented by a few strong attacking players, especially with Bianca Waite, who can be a fantastic target when she's on. In-goal shooter. I think both sides have a full lineup, which I don't reckon has happened this year either. Pinaroo, though, haven't had a problem when they have lined up against Peak. The first two times they've met, with Pinaroo winning by 30 and then 15. So if you continue the same pattern, maybe it will be a draw. So I think I'll pick Peak, actually. They just seem to be on a really good run, but only within a few goals.
There we have it. Well, I dare say, and with all due respect to Murrayville, it's going to take an awful lot of COVID cases in the Karuna side for any sort of upset to be made possible. Karuna, the top side, facing off against the bottom side, Murrayville. Nicole, I mean, there's not a whole lot more to say, is there?
No, well, this is probably the one that you can confidently pick, but I have been proven wrong before, more than once. But Murrayville have got nothing to lose, and I know they've been mixing up a few of their players, playing up, other ends, just trying a few different things. They're going to go out there, they're going to have fun, that's guaranteed. Karuna have certainly won the last two games by quite well, by 19 and then 34 at the Murrayville's home ground, so you can be guaranteed, win or lose, they will be celebrating afterwards at the Bulldogs Den. So yeah, I think Karuna will bring this one home.
There we have it, Nicole McMahon. It's great to catch up with you again, doing a fantastic job as our correspondent in the Mallee Netball competition. Good luck to your Lamaroo girls this weekend, and enjoy getting back out into the world. We'll speak to you next week.
Thanks. Look forward to it.